السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ربنا أوزع علينا صبرا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. ربنا أوزع علينا صبرا وتوفنا مسلمين. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. آمين. Please.
Read or like somewhere.
Yeah.
All right, so what we did last time was we went through the conclusion for the book of creation.
Book of creation.
Yeah.
This is a piece from a book,
Right.
which is called, what is the name of the book?
Seedbed of the Light.
Seedbed of the Light. Yeah. Or in its original language, Al-Mathnawi Al-Nuriya. Yeah.
So yeah, we got through half of the bullet point. We ended up going discussing the four summaries, the four chapters.
Yeah. That's the summary of it.
Right. So should I read the first sentence?
So we can read, from which bullet point we left off last week. Okay.
Right. Okay. All right. So gravity and repulsion, as well as motion and similar phenomena, are names of divine principles or ways of operating represented as laws.
So just this is the summary of maybe a small section in the text. So what we understand from it altogether, from this summary, let's remember what we have studied about it before. Yeah.
I guess what comes to me is that things like gravity and repulsion, for example,
Yeah, these are examples.
are things in the universe that I observe, but they don't have any external existence of their own. So when it says these are divine principles or ways of operating represented as laws.
Now, divine principles, one way of explaining it, or put it in other words. So first, divine principles, you can explain these kind of things because everybody is obsessed by laws. They think they really exist. People, if you go and speak to high school, college students, they think there are laws somewhere. They don't know what the nature of this concept really refers to. That's why we need to repeat it and what they really mean. Okay? The author says what? This what we call them laws. Some people call them natural laws. I mean, some people may be innocent, but they don't say natural by itself. But most of the innocent people use the word nature for the creation. It means the universe, the existent thing. But for those people who are scientists and deliberately use this word, they mean the things themselves, how they are. It is a claim, but ordinary people don't use it as a claim. They use it as a description, what they mean. Nature, it means beautiful scenery. But the scientists don't mean that. But those people are aware of what they are saying. So they are not innocent. They are really presenting their own philosophy of existence. Okay. So what they say, nature or laws, they say natural laws. What they mean, that's how they are themselves. So what are they if you say they wouldn't be able to explain? That's how it operates. For example, the nature of the computer is to operate in such a way that I am accustomed with. But it is ingrained in the matter itself to operate like this. For example, I am a human being, so I can think, I can see. Yeah. Is it innate in my existence, or I am made in this way? That I am made, if you like, to see, to think, to hear, to smell, or to feel. I am made in this way. But some people say, no, it is the nature of human beings to see or to speak. Why nature? But innocent people put aside. They don't mean that. But those deliberate speaking people, they have some philosophy of existence in their mind. So they call it their ontology. You know this ontology, I think. Or if you don't know why. How you explain existence itself, themselves. So they mean that it is innate in human beings to see. And the power of sight is from my being, not from my maker. Because they don't accept the maker. They don't accept the creator. They block this way. They don't question whether I am given existence, created, or not. They don't question that. Why? They take it for granted that I exist. So simple. So, do you need a paper?
So far, so good. I guess I'll share it in.
You can ask. You can share. You can share mine as well. Okay? So the author says, no. They do not have these qualities from within themselves. The author says, no, they are given. As I am given existence, I am given existence with the quality of seeing, hearing, etc. So as the engineer designed the computer and made it in a physical form, he made it with the quality that I am experiencing in it. The quality is not natural to the computer, it is given. The way the engineer has designed it. Now, how about the so-called, in quote unquote, engineer of the universe? It has its own way of designing or creating the universe, which is called, in this small sentence, divine principles. Or in another way a way of saying it, what is that? The other one. Or
Ways of operating as laws.
yeah, presented as law, it is principle. For example, we see that computer acts always in this way. And we call it, for practical purposes, this is the law of computer. If you do this, it will function in this way. Or if you press this key, you will get in the screen this or that, whatever. So this is the represented as laws, but in fact, it is nothing but the way of the engineer who made it. Nothing to do with the computer itself, because the computer itself needs to be given existence. Clear?
Alright.
Any question, further explanation? Nothing clear.
I have one question. These principles, can we say that they don't, I mean, they exist, but not in form of matter or in form of something tangible or observable, but yet we can confirm their existence
But how do they exist?
because we see them being utilized in the operation or the order of the
That is
universe.
our perception. Do you notice that they don't have external existence apart from our perception?
Agree, but outside of our perception, we cannot confirm anything.
No, but we are not confirming, we are accepting that they don't exist, but we perceive it and name it in this way. If the engineer made it in this way, and we call it as a law. But in
Okay.
fact, it is made in this way, period. Now, there is no computer plus laws.
I see, but can't you say the notion of that thing exists? Like it might not have an
No,
existence of
that
its own.
is in your mind,
Yeah.
but it doesn't exist there.
Okay.
So in the universe, doesn't exist. For example, we come into this room and there's a switch there, and there's somebody there, and if I say, press on the switch, the light will come on. Yeah. So somebody does this regularly. At the end, he comes up saying that this is the law of the room. If you press this, light comes. But this is how it is made. There is no how the room is made plus a law. Law is my naming of an event after my experience. For example, let's say always this couple comes before me and I'm jealous of them. So that is their habit. They come before me. If I keep experiencing it, I will say this is the law, because you always, with no exception, come before me. I didn't get you up so far. Now I try. So I can say this is the law because there is no you and plus law. That is the way you live. You live in this world, or you follow your schedule before time, always. Right? That's good. But it doesn't mean that there is an external existence of a law that makes you come before me. No, that's your habit. I name it in this way. It's just,
A label.
yeah, naming, labeling it, describing it, how it works, how the things are, how you act. Now, the ways of operating represented, a law means doesn't change. So, I mean, the computer acts as it is made, and computer has no free will to change it. So we say this is the law of working of this computer. Okay. Any more?
So the second point says, why do some believe in matter's eternity and attribute the formation of all species to the random motions of particles or similar things?
So can somebody tell us with a free language what this bullet point says? Simple, what do you understand from it? In a spoken language, make it easy for me to understand.
Attributing the cause of anything or the existence of anything to matter itself. So, and the question is basically questioning that ideology or that thought.
But what the text is emphasizing on,
Well,
text
two
says,
pieces, right? One, it's talking about matter is eternity, so matter
yeah,
existing.
matter is eternity. That's one point that it is really said. Some people claim that matter is eternity
Mhm.
and eternal, actually. So it means matter's eternity is claimed by some people and attribute.
About,
Those people, what do?
well, they're attributing essentially in this text it says the formation of all species to the random motions of those matter or motion particles. But here, if you blow it out of the text itself, it basically means the cause of anything that's
Yeah,
happening.
but
Yeah.
we read the text first.
Yeah.
So the cause, that's our description of it.
Mhm.
But the main point here in this sentence, matter is eternal and the formation of species, because it's something like, let me put it in my excellent, genius example, brick house. Bricks are eternal and they are forming themselves into different structures of buildings in the course of time. But some people say, no, you don't think it happens overnight. And you say it is impossible. Of course not. Everybody knows it. Throughout the billions of years, expanding the time. Randomly, they go this way, this way, this way, this way. Doesn't work. One of them becomes a perfect building like this. It works and stays. Look at the logic. Like Aladdin's lamp. Mysteriously, you say something, it comes out, whatever you want. Did I put it in a simple way? So, what's wrong with this idea?
Doesn't make sense.
Sorry?
Doesn't make sense
What?
because
Oh my God, you are bigoted. Do you follow the religion? That is why. You have in your mind that God created it. That's why you reject any idea which makes sense and rational and physically observable. Look at the universe. Don't look at this bigoted ideas. Look at the matter with your bigoted ideas that God did it.
no.
Don't condition yourself. Think freely. That's what atheists think. Oh, you're wonderful. You're not inside like I'm doing now.
No, just in general, I'm looking at matter. Matter is eternal, but we know that anything, object, is deteriorating. So how can you say or conclude it's eternal? Even if you give the example of the brick, over the course of time, everything is subject to perishing. So
Change is the point.
Mm.
Because they say particles are not deteriorating. How do you know?
I mean, even research shows, even like piece of cloth, if you have it for like a long time, I mean, it may look like
Okay.
that, but it's
But the essential particles of the cloth always exist. That's the quality of argument.
what does that mean, essential particle?
So, because what makes the cloth
Mhm.
essentially particles or atoms depends on how much you are aware of the physical existence of the things there.
Mhm.
They don't change, they say. They don't deteriorate. But they are subject to change.
They come and go. So even the cells, new cells emerge, the other one dies. New one emerge, other one dies. So you can't. Maybe it's this cycle that is being referred to as being eternal, the coming into existence and perishing again, coming into existence and going. So maybe that cycle is referred to as eternal. I mean,
Now, let's take the word eternal, put it on the table and discuss.
okay.
In order for something to be eternal, what kind of nature it's expected to have.
Self-existing one.
Here is the answer, self-existing. If something is not self-existing, it cannot be eternal. It must have been given existence at a point, whether 10 billion years ago or 100 billion years ago, doesn't matter. Because of the nature of the universe is expanding, right? It's expanding.
Right.
Now, if something is expanding and you are at this point and understood that no, it's here, but it is expanding very fast, but it's so huge that we don't see even the speed of expansion. Yeah, huge, billions of galaxies, can you imagine? So, but it's expanding. They found out that it's expanding universe because some galaxies die, some galaxies are newly born with their language. They don't say created. They say they are, reforming themselves with the debris of the previous death galaxies. No, that's what they say. So we shouldn't run away from their claims. Okay, debris of them, debris of these death galaxies are formed, they don't say used, are formed into a new galaxy. Looks like bright way of explaining when I die, because I am a living being. They say, no, you are exceptional, you are different. Living beings are different. So when you die, I go to the cemetery, and 1 billion years later, you will find that living beings are coming from the cemetery. So,
Those are called zombies.
sorry.
Those are called zombies.
So that's what they claim. Okay, that's what they claim. But we should never forget that if something is eternal, it should be self-existing. If something is self-existing, it shouldn't be dependent. Right? If something is independent, it shouldn't be subject to any other factors. Self-existing, independent being. And I shouldn't be subject to anything else. But can anyone show me an atom or a particle which is not subject to something else from within themselves? It means, for example, the pencil is here forever. So if a wind comes, it goes according to the speed and the force of the winds go this way, or if I take it from it, it comes there. And so that is why it is not self-existing, because it is subject to my changing its place. It doesn't say, look, I'm independent. I decide by myself. No. Nothing can say. It is dependent on something else. So that they expand, for example, they don't say, I'm not going to expand, because it is independent, must be independent, self-existent being. So I'm not going to expand. Why should I expand? Why should I changing according to what? Is there anyone in the world, anyone, philosopher, scientist, whatever, but ordinary people forget about them. They don't bother about them. So anyone who says they are changing because they want to change themselves, that's their choice. They are independent beings, but if it is their choice, they should change according to what they want, not according to something else. Can the universe expand according to its own desire, own choice? Show me anything moving in the world without being subject to the law, principles of existence. It means somebody else's will. For example, can the computer change its way of working? But if it is planned, programmed by its engineer or programmer, processor, that after 10 years, you won't work in this way, but in another way. Because time set is there by the engineering. Yeah? It has to subject. It means it has to follow the engineer's decision. It means it is not independent acting. It means it is not self-existing. It means anything expands cannot be self-existing. So what the people do now, very simple, they think that the great man found this theory. It's very simple, go back to time. So it is expanding this way now after billions of years, that because you can trace the expansion rate and from the light, the rays that you receive from the sky. So they trace it, and then how far or how fast they are expanding. From there they count that if they have been this large, and if it is expanding at this speed, can you not know, for example, when you are driving a car on a road, now your speed is 50 miles, be moderate, but no one on highway, 70 miles per hour, and you went from New York to Chicago. Yeah? How long did it take you? Can you calculate it? The distance between New York to Chicago divided by 50 miles or 70 miles per hour, and you say you arrived at Chicago at what time? 12 o'clock, or let's say 10 o'clock. So you say, I know. How fast did you ride? 70 miles per hour, yeah, mph. And how far is it? I don't know how far is it. 700 miles, 800 miles? No, 600 miles. Guess it. If not the one, okay. 600 miles. Okay. It's 10 o'clock, I arrived in Chicago. Do you know when I departed from New York? Can you calculate it? Even the primary school students can calculate it. Yeah. So you go back and say that, no, you departed New York, left New York at, let's say, 5 o'clock in the morning. Correct? So that is the beginning of my journey.
You have to account for breaks as well.
Sorry?
You have to account for breaks.
No, it's that's American height. So there is no break. So make it easy, because in the university expansion rate has no
No
break.
breaks.
So it is steady. They call it core. It's a core, law. So they understand it. So a genius man comes out and says, although it is a calculation can be really made by a primary school student, a genius man calculates as the universe has started existing 13.2 billion years ago. Wow! Nobel Prize. Oh man, it's so simple. It's a so simple calculation. The speed of expansion, and the estimated universe. Nowadays, by the way, the explanation distance, yeah, from zero to the last point. Now, 13 million years ago, they say, but they understand that the universe is not as we perceive it, is width, how wide. some people say, a physicist said to me, that who's studying in CERN said to me, I think, we could only discover 2% of the universe. Doesn't matter, because this is not a counter argument. You cannot make the calculation. No, you can. Why? 2% is this, multiplied by 98. It is the estimated, how do you say, largeness? No, sorry?
Size would be an accurate.
Size of the universe is not 13 billion years ago. Make another calculation. It's simple calculation. As I said, even the primary school students can do it. Multiplied by 98. But that's it. Not 13 years, but 100 billion years ago. Or not 110 billion years ago. Well, doesn't matter. No. But what is the significance of it? If something is moving, it must have a beginning. If something must have a beginning, it cannot be self-existent. Now, that is the philosophical side of it, not physical knowledge. It must have a beginning. It means it cannot be self-existing. It was given existence at a point, right? And the question remains there. It started at a point in time. Doesn't matter how big the time is, according to calculations. You may use a real data. Doesn't matter. But we are not saying that, no, it cannot be sure. Maybe sure. Does it matter? It doesn't change the nature of moving. Subject to move. Can it stop? No. By itself. Yeah. If everything goes right, can the computer decide, I'm not going to work because you are not treating me well? By itself. Can? Yes or no? Well, you are there.
No, I'm thinking, can we apply this concept to the human side of things?
What
Because
human side? Yeah.
we are
Explain.
always evolving.
Who?
We are always evolving in
What
terms
is we are always evolving?
of different thoughts. Like we are subject to change.
But that is our not physical side. These people don't accept your human side. You are a physical body animal for them.
Right.
That's one thing. Another thing, even I am evolving. Am I evolving by chance or according to certain rules,
Right.
principles, order?
Okay.
So can my cells operate according to their own choice or as they are made? Which one? The text says, look, okay. So some people attribute the formation of species to the random motion of particles. Or particles or similar things. You can say not particle, but bosons. They call it subparticles, bosons. So they name it different. Doesn't matter. I don't know. Just I read some names. Doesn't matter. Atoms. Even don't say atoms. The small specks. Doesn't matter. So random motions. Is it possible that random motions? Is there any randomness in the universe? Random happening. Apart from my behavior. I don't know what I'm doing, but in existence, the existent beings are acting randomly. Is the wind acting randomly?
This would be like going against the bullet point from before about like the different laws, if you will, because one may claim that a law has an
So-
external existence and
So
then
the
say,
law is changing now,
oh, what's going on here?
contradicts again. Everywhere, it doesn't make sense. Which direction you take, it doesn't make sense. I personally, sure. Well, no way that I can. I have a doubt about it even. Impossible to attribute the existence as an eternal being and acting by itself. So the problem is forming the species. For example, from a seed, tree is coming. From a tree, branch is coming. Who's growing it? Yeah? They say it is the eternal particles in the body is acting always in this way. There are laws. I mean, it sounds like there are laws as if laws naturally happening by themselves. Yes, they follow an order, but it doesn't mean that there is an order out there in the universe and say, hey, follow what I say. It again contradicts with the claim itself, because if I obey the order, it means I'm subject. Yeah, for example, I obey the order of the United States. I am a citizen. So it is a kingdom, but I am called what? If it was a kingdom, I am subject to the king. So I cannot do anything I want. And it means I don't have my own existence by myself, independent existence. I'm subject to. So I act according to the law prescribed by the authority. That shows that I'm dependent. If I'm dependent, I cannot be self-existing. If I'm not self-existent, my existence depends the will of something else, somebody else. Whatever the direction you take in this analysis, it doesn't work only one way. The universe is dependent on the will of its creator, the one who gave existence to it. It is a beginning. Anything logically has a beginning, must have an end. Sure. Because it cannot eternally exist if its existence comes from the will of somebody else. For example, we wonder how the universe will collapse, because of this scriptures claim eschatology. At the end of the universe, everything will be destroyed. Is it a difficult job? No. The one who willed them to exist will cease to will them. Finish. So but it's a description from my perspective. Everything will be, it means they are not self-existing. So they are subject to the will of something else. This one can create the same thing in another way. For example, the engineer of the computer can design the program of the computer in another way. That's up to him. That's up to the engineer of the computer. Now the computer is a human made. Oh, it's not charging. No, it's very dangerous. What's going on?
It was.
No, it was 90, it became 50%. But why is it not charging? No, it's not charging. It is charging now.
Yeah.
Hopefully, inshallah. Okay. It's about to die. We thought it was charging from 97, came back to 5%. Okay, how can I mix it fixed in this way? So that,
Yeah, just put the laptop on the wire. Yeah, now you can put the laptop on the wire.
on this end.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And
I
then-
cannot speak with my hands tied. I want
Yeah.
to be free to use my hands even. Okay. Right? Any problem that why some people believe in this way? This is the question now. The way that the matter is eternal, they say. Why do they need to say matter is eternal? I keep telling this how many times I told you must be familiar with this language. There is no eternity in the universe. Nothing is eternal in the universe. Everything is continues to change. Changing according to the will of something else, external to themselves. So why do they say? Why do they need to say that the matter is eternal? Maybe the fundamental particles of the universe is eternal. That they keep changing, newly forming themselves into new species. They say. Of course, the first problem is, are they eternal? The second problem is, are they changing according to their will? The third problem is, new species coming into existence as an random happenings of this change. Problem upon problem, which one are we going to solve? It's impossible. None of them is really logically consistent. None of them. Okay. So why do they do that? Although it is dead end, it is impossible to start with. There is no eternity in the universe. Everything is continuously changing. That is the first step. Why do they need to say that? Although they can never stand behind this claim, their claim, why do they say?
I mean, if matter does not have any source of existence, isn't owned by any absolute source, that means that what's applicable to matter is also applicable to me, that I also don't have a source of existence, that I don't have to subjugate my existence to any of its source or
So
maker.
that is the inner problem of the person himself, herself. I don't want to submit myself to anything about me. Yeah, anything about me. So this is the description of a person who's called Pharaoh in the Quran. I mean, maybe most probably it's a symbolic name historically, although the Egyptians believe that it really happened. So doesn't matter really whether it happened or not, but this is what the Quran describes, this thought process. The messenger comes, that's the dialogue. Actually, this is a beautiful literature style. A messenger comes who is inspired with the belief in the Creator, accepted that, confirmed that, and says, shall I introduce you, your Lord? But what was the claim of the person? I am the Lord. He said, no. Shall I introduce you, your Lord? That's the language of the scripture. So it is literally, it is interesting details in the literature of the text, but it is not our point now. Everything is so meaningful, actually. It's very concise. If we say that I am the Lord of myself, I don't want to be introduced who my Lord is. because my status will be subjected to this Lord. That is the reason to deny my Lord. It means there is some, if you like, some other existent being's will which operates on my existence. If I don't want to accept this and claim, how falsely it may be, but that is just wishful thinking that I am the Lord. Wishful thinking. I am the Lord. In fact, this notion, even saying that I am the Lord, this notion of lordship is so real to human beings that everything must have a Lord. When it comes to me, for example, I wish to be the Lord of my existence. That is the concept. They don't say, I exist because I exist. That's it. No, I am the Lord, not only of my existence, but also to decide, to pass decision to others as well. Exercise my, if you like, egoistic ambitions on others. That is symbolized with the story of this Pharaoh. So we have to apply it to ourselves. Do I have this claim? Yeah, when I was 16 years old, no, a bit older than this, I wanted to put a sign on my room saying, don't enter. Why? I don't want my parents to just enter into my room without my permission. That's what we desire. At the young age, because we are growing, we are at the beginning of recognition of our existence and independent existence. It means independent from my parents, not really existent. I am aware, where did I come from? Why? I wasn't aware of anything. So I don't want my parents to operate on me. I want to exercise my free will as I want. That is human beings' childish desire. Later on, you realize that it was wrong, but most of the time it is too late because they pass away. So you don't have the time to apologize that it was wrong. Please forgive. So it was a false claim. Anyways, but we do that. It's a childish, wishful desire. But some people keep it after they grow. Do you think that? No?
No, I mean, I agree. I was just wondering, I understand that the existence of this quality allows me to recognize the notion of lordship, right? That it should exist, that other existing things require it so as well. I'm just wondering, I guess, it raises the question of why, or how can I understand, I guess, why, my source of existence has given this quality to me, this ability to feel this way with such potency.
Potency, yes. Or ability.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I understand.
Tendency.
Right, I mean, I understand that it allows me to recognize that his
Excellent.
actual lordship, but it's also very strong.
Very good. Very excellent. I love this question. In order not to declare a Lord from among created beings, so that I want to be independent of your oppression, your control over me, independent of your will, exercise of your lordship over me, but I need a Lord. Because the concept of lordship is, again, put into my being, so that not to assign any being, the dependent being like me, as a Lord over me. That notion is given to us. So we don't want to be really controlled by anyone. We don't want to be told by anyone, not in a teaching way. No, no. I want to be free in this world, free from the oppression of any other created being like me. But it doesn't mean that this should extend into extending my existence into an independent being. No, my free will, by its own nature, it's given to me in this way that I want to exercise my free will as I want, not under the interference of other people like me. But it shouldn't go to the extent that I want to declare the free will on myself only as if I am the source of existence, of the owner of existence of my free will. It is given to me. So it is given to me in order to understand, accept my Lord, but nothing else. That is the crux of teaching of the Quran. That's why in this scenario, a messenger, it means the one who is aware of the reality, comes to this person who claims that he is the Lord of a certain part of the universe, the earth. So I am the Lord here. He says, can I introduce you, your Lord? Now, if you notice this, he is asking, or this messenger is asking him to acknowledge his Lord in his existence. So attribute this existence to your Lord. Of course, human existence, not only bodily existence here, human existence means human side, feelings, human qualities, existence. So I am expected to acknowledge that these human qualities are given to me by my Creator, the one who gave me existence. So I have to use it for the purpose that this Creator has given me these qualities. It means obeying His will, acknowledging Him and obeying His will, but not somebody else's will, but His will alone. That is the core teaching of the Quran. That's very important, that we have to submit to the will of our Creator, but nothing else. They force you, okay, I suffer. I don't welcome. I suffer. Suffer of being a slave of other people who operate their force or the power over me. I don't agree, but I have no other way to rebel. Now, if I rebel, they put me in a worse condition, as if I am now going in and out in the house, coming here and going. They put me in prison or kill me. That's historically happening. So we should have in our feelings, in ourselves, one object of Lord, my Creator. So I obey Him willingly. I obey the others unwillingly. I don't want it. So when someone wants to declare his independence at childhood from his parents, that is the way the starting point of the preliminary stage of becoming aware of their need for freedom, to freedom to exercise freely their free will, their will. But it shouldn't mean that we should use our free will completely independent of its existence as if it belongs to me. It is impossible to do that. Why? Because my will is given to me. It is a Lord. My power of sight is given to me. It is a Lord. I have to acknowledge it. That's what the mission of the scriptures, or the Creator comes in and interferes into our life and says verbally, you have to acknowledge your Lord and obey Him only. Follow His will, because He is your source of existence. Got it? So this is the process how human beings grow in this practical life. How we grow in this practical life. Because as a child, we are not aware of anything. As a baby, we are not aware of anything at all. Total dependent. As we grow, it means we are created and put through stages of training, education. We become aware of our free will and we misuse them, start misusing them. But that is a necessary step. Human beings, that's my claim, cannot learn anything without making a mistake. So if someone makes a mistake, understand that it is in the process of learning. Help if you know the answer or the correct way of thinking, behaving, whatever. So without making a mistake, we cannot learn. That's how we do it. And the Quran also beautifully describes this or summarizes it with La ilaha illallah. We keep saying that without La ilaha, we cannot come to the conclusion illallah. That's the teaching of the Quran, which really, really makes me sure that this teaching is correct. No doubt, no question beyond any doubt. So, La ilaha illallah. So it means we have to go through the stage of, can it be my God? Can it be my Lord? Can it be the source of my existence? Can it be the one or thing I am responsible for my existence? Can it be the one I follow the will, its will? I have to question. So we go through the stages and learn. We have to learn. As a child, we make mistakes, which is beautiful, of course, but we have to grow out of it by questioning further and further throughout our education. That's that. So we need to be independent, but bear in mind that this independence will follow all the way, going through all these other created things, go beyond it, right? And reach the source of your existence, of your human sight, and submit yourself to Him. What does it mean, submitting yourself to Him? His will. I gave you this in order to be used in this way, right? And that's why human beings, we will study this down there. Human beings have don't need guidelines from the Creator how to utilize their human qualities, how to use their human qualities. That's called Sharia. Yeah. But in American culture, Sharia means cutting the ends or getting married with 4 wives. You have 3 more options, not more. So, so this kind of simple-mindedness, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they are themselves, really. So ignorant. So we have to understand that Sharia means recognition of the source of the existence of your feelings and acknowledging his guidance that you have to use it according to the purpose he has given it to you. So it says, of course, respect everyone. That's why you respect every creature. So yesterday, I don't know what happened, very small, maybe the smallest ant I've seen in my finger. I didn't know what to do with it. No, I didn't kill it. But I have to go out now to throw it because the windows have the screens. So I have to go to the door and throw the tree. Serve the ant. Do you understand? Serve the ant. Respect the right of its existence. That is what my feeling leads me, that I have to respect the creatures for the sake of their creator. Because I am grateful for my existence, so that the ant must be grateful for its existence. Why should I interfere into its existence? So the respect goes much beyond, including and beyond respect your parents, goes much beyond it, respect the ant. Even your parent doesn't matter. I mean, your parent is other people who took care of you. You acknowledge it that you did some labor for me. Acknowledge it. That is the way the human life circle is created. You take care of your parents when they need, because they took care, as the reasoning the Quran gives, because they took care of your life when you were a baby and underage. That's the circle. Not a paying back, but when I get old, my children, hopefully, inshallah, doesn't seem to me, take care of when I get old. Why? They will because this is how the organizer of life has arranged the feeling. Really, when you hurt your parents, do you feel comfortable? I don't. Yeah, I used to rebel. I remember my youth. I used to rebel, but go to my room and I shouldn't do that. Because that's how they are. I have to accept that. They were kind to me. I have to acknowledge it. This is the feeling. For example, the Prophet keeps telling us, the messenger, keeps telling us that if you don't thank people, you don't thank God. Why? The sense of thanking needs to be practiced in this way so that it will end up with the Creator. For example, if you don't thank your friend who was helpful to you, or a kind person, it means you are acknowledging the help, you are acknowledging the kindness. So what is the source of the existence of kindness? Even this person has demonstrated it to you. What is the source of his kindness? My expectation of kindness. So I want to be treated kindly. These sources must be, these feelings must be questioned from their existential point of view. How do they exist? So my feeling of kindness, the friend's feeling of kindness, ties up to the source of existence of the notion of kindness. We are united there. Everything ends up with the creator of the whole universe. That means everything ends up, or how do you say, culminates to the last pinnacle, which is source of existence of all these feelings, human feelings. So we are united there. And that is what the unification, Tawheed is. Everything ultimately comes to one absolute source. So, any more? Any other concerns? No? Yes?
That's it for now.
Okay. Oh, look at this rebellious. Okay.
I just wanted to go back to the notion of like how the essence or the fundamental part of a particle is eternal, that claim.
That claim, of course.
That
You
claim.
can claim everything.
So, in regards to that claim, for example, with the example that Faria gave with the cloth itself is subject to change, but
Cloth.
the cloth itself. And while the particles themselves continue to exist,
Mhm.
they also they are also subject to change as well. They don't
Subject to
they're-
change.
They
Yeah.
don't stay the same, right? And because of this reason, then I can say, I'm just recapping and trying to establish my understanding. Because of this reason, I can say they are dependent because they are subject to change,
Mhm.
that they are not self-sufficient, and because I observe the universe in an orderly fashion,
Mhm.
that there is an order, that the notion of an order in my mind, in my observations of the universe, that because of this reason, that it must be as a result of a conscious choice
Or will.
yeah,
Of the origin of existence.
of the source of existence of
Yeah,
that particle.
origin of existence. We have to go back to. You don't have to define the origin of existence as such, or they call it per se, because you just accept that it is not dependent. That is negation. It's not dependent. It doesn't need any source of existence for its own existence, so that it must self-exist. This kind of negations, it should not be subject to change. It is self-sustaining. It must be self-sustaining source of existence. But how did we get all these qualities? From the qualities that we observe and experience in this world, created, given existence beings. They all say that if the source of my existence is like me, it wouldn't be the source of my existence. Because like me means as I am, because I need to be existed or to be given existence. So if the other one is in need of being given existence by something else, it should be like me. It cannot be the creator. So by definition, the source of existence must have the opposite qualities of what is given existence. Do you understand this? The opposite qualities. That is why in order to describe the source of existence, we use the language of negating. Infinite. We studied this on Wednesday. It means not finite. Yeah. Self-existent. It means not dependent. Existence. Self-existent. So we see that none of these negated qualities can be owned by any being in creation, in the creation. So that is why we only can describe the creator by negating it, not the creator, the source of existence, by its own nature, essence, which is impossible to imagine because I am a created being. I cannot imagine the essence of just a being has the just opposite of my qualities. Everything is opposite of my quality that it must have. So essence of the creator cannot be describable other than in a negating form. Of course, if someone has read it or if you hear from somebody in Islamic thinking or among the Muslim scholars, or this describing God as or with the opposite of the qualities we experience it, it's a negating way, salbi way, which is the technical word they use. Not like this, not like this, not like this. So salbi way is not a safe way of describing it, but they criticize it because it's not safe, because you are saying it's not like this, not like this. It means you are not describing how it is, so it is not enough. Okay, excuse me. Go ahead and describe it for me, how it is. No answer. No answer, because they cannot. They cannot. It is not, that's why we say La ilaha and then illallah. Because we say, I keep saying this, and we are in the class, we repeat this. If you don't say La ilaha without saying La ilaha, going through La ilaha, negation, you cannot say, I believe in God. To me, impossible. But ordinary people don't think about it. I mean, they don't think whether it is logical or illogical, logically consistent or logically inconsistent. They don't think about it. But if you people start thinking about it, which is expected of you, you understand it doesn't make sense. Yeah, without going through La ilaha to say illallah, it doesn't make sense for me. But those people who don't think about it, they say, of course, the universe needs a creator. You see, again, negation. Again, negation. Very simple statement. And some people stay there. Oh, that's up to them. I don't know. You cannot force. But you people cannot stay there because you know the opposite ideas. You know the other people come up with different way of interpreting the creation. Here it is. Some people say the fundamental part of the universe, which we call particles simply, are eternal. Oh, did you hear it? Yeah, that's it. You have to reason. Is it possible? Is it possible? But those people who go and speak to them, it never occurs such thing. So they just follow the culture. You know, those atheist people, or not the atheist people, those people who were born in inland China, in the villages of China, they know nothing of God at all. But what God? What are you talking about? I've seen these people. Even educated ones, they don't have the notion of God, notion of creator. It never occurred to them. Occurred to them, I think. Occurred to them to think that is this universe has a source of existence or not? None of them. Just live as they are. They follow the way of their village life. That's it. Simple life. That's why they live longer. Simple. They have no problem, nothing to bother. Okay. Shall we go one more if we can finish it, but we have to stop a bit early today. Not now. We have some time. One more?
have
No?
another comment slash
Okay.
Um, so even like I was thinking about the question that you asked earlier, like why do then people ascribe eternity to particles or matter themselves? Could it also be that within, like as a human being, I desire a meaningful existence, that my life makes sense, or my life here is not just it adds up to something, that it's not just pointless. So in a way, by ascribing eternity to matter, I'm trying to find a way in which I can kind of ascribe value to my own being. So the core of that initiation is not necessarily like it's a human feeling. It comes from a human feeling, but then maybe the way I carry it out, then I have to question how what is the proper means of doing so.
What I understood from your comment mixed, mixed with the question. Human beings want to have dignity for their own being. They have honor. Yeah, that is reality. We have to have our honor, our dignity as a human being. We cannot deny that I should have no dignity at all. Again, the same reasoning, how you can gain your human dignity by finding a way which doesn't really sound consistent for your human side, which means I exist by myself, my existence belongs to me, so I am an independent being. So is it which is a way of claiming dignity. So you cannot insult me, you cannot command me. Yeah, that's what goes on between wives and husbands and elder siblings and younger ones. They don't want to parents and child. That's what how this preliminary stage of this education goes through. This is a search, and it is a real search for humanity. That's how we are made, to search for it. First, we gain value with our family background, or with our tribe, or with our nationality, or with our profession, or without the power of my state. That's what most of the people in America say. We are the strongest nation. They take a part in it. I belong to the strongest country in the world. Yeah, that is a search for dignity. So every stage needs to be questioned. Can I gain my dignity because of my country, because of my tribe, because of my family, because of my profession, because of my body structure, which may be beautiful, may not be, that's what attractive, whatever, the people have lots of notions. Or my clothes, or my money, property, wealth. Can I do that? We have to question. If you, as a human being, come up with a sure conclusion, satisfactory conclusion that you can ultimately assign your dignity to this source or not, because human dignity does also search for eternity. It means I have to be dignified, I have to have an honored life eternally. Who wants to be as old as I am and lots of problems dealing with? I have to have a dignity that I don't need anyone. But the life, the existence, reality is deny. Say, no, you will experience the need of the help of other people. The time will come, and every other month you need to go to hospital. So it doesn't satisfy. State, my claim, my wealth, my money, my affiliation with that school. I am a student. If someone is a student in an unknown university, they say, I go to a college, yeah, I'm studying. If someone, for example, a student in Columbia University, they don't say, I'm a college student. What do they say? I am a student at Columbia. Yeah? Still they say, okay, being a student in Columbia University can satisfy your desire with a substantial source of dignity, or what you do, you graduate. You use the degree you got from it, you retire, you die. It is satisfaction, human satisfaction. No, your tribe. That's it. Today, your tribe may be the most powerful. Tomorrow, another tribe is most powerful in the area. So this is a search for the eternal source of dignity. So how do we solve it? How did I get this sense of dignity? From where? Did I develop it by myself? Did you develop your sense of dignity, or did you find yourself as made in this way, in need of dignity? What is the source of existence of this? You end up, this must be the source of existence of the universe, including me in it, within it. So I have to gain dignity from being belong to the creator of the universe. That's why the scripture very rightfully describes those people who acknowledge their Lord and identify themselves with him and take pride of not themselves but their creator, the most dignified people, mukarram, which is the language, most dignified people, because I belong to the source of existence of the universe, which is, by definition, must be eternal and absolute. My source of existence. You see, this is a journey of search. You don't want to be, for example, insulted by your friend. Yeah. So that's why the Quranic language says, you are my abd. I am your ma'bud. It means you have to acknowledge me, and I am the source of existence of all your feelings, or emotions, qualities, human qualities. Simple. So you say, okay, I submit myself and I protect my dignity from the insulting or limiting factors within the created world and assign it to the absolute being. That's the journey's end. So you say, I belong to the universe. Not I belong to America, I belong to this family, I belong to Columbia University. I belong to the creator of the universe, which is the most dignifying source. I am his property. It's good. It is what we have to do, this journey, for ourselves. So we have to take pride of our creator only, nothing else. So if someone says, where are you from? Ah, from my creator. Yeah. What's your profession? My profession? To acknowledge my creator. I'm trying to acknowledge him better and better. Yeah. What do you do? I work on how should I acknowledge my creator better. Yeah, that's my main profession. The others are temporary, don't worry. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't do, but they are not your ultimate aim, cannot be. Ultimate aim is to teach, to reach up to the creator. It's not easy, is it?
Theory sounds good.
So we are on the way, stuck somewhere, and say that no, you are not doing it. No, Canada is more than freer country than America. So I belong to Canada. No, you will change it. To use the states, use I belong to the state. They would like to do pledge of allegiance. Promise no one else except me. Yeah, that's what human nature. We do a pledge of allegiance. We have to promise. I belong to you, nothing else, no one else. I follow you and no one else, no other country, but me, you. Just that they give you a passport. It means they acknowledge your existence here only after giving a pledge. That is in human nature, you know. We have to give the pledge of allegiance, bay'ah, which is called bay'ah. So the Quran says you have to, yeah, you have to give your pledge of allegiance to God through his appointed. So go to the if you like, clerk, which is the prophet, say, look, you are not, that's why in the concept of وَأَشْهَدُ أَنَّ مُحَمَّدًا عَبْدُهُ وَرَسُولُهُ, it's a very interesting. We should never forget, and وَأَشْهَدُ أَنَّ, we should actually never say, while we are reasoning, وَأَشْهَدُ أَنَّ مُحَمَّدًا رَسُولُ اللَّهِ. No, عَبْدُهُ وَرَسُولُهُ. Why? As an abd, representative of the Creator in the world, in the name of him, you say, okay, tell the Creator, I acknowledge him. But in this universe, in this world, I have to do in a physical form. That's why the Quran says you have to give, you have to pay off, you have to give, what was the word? Pledge of allegiance to the Prophet physically, but as an abd, as a appointed person, not really himself. This is what I mean. Although he is dead, still we are expected to give pledge of allegiance to the Prophet in notion. Although we haven't seen him, because his body is not important. Right? So in this physical world, we have to use the physical means to fulfill our whatever aims here. Lots of different subjects actually needs to be taught, because every dimension is very important. For example, if we don't realize Muhammadun abduhu wa rasuluh, we miss the point. Because the Quran keeps saying, obey God and his messenger. Sometimes, rarely though, obey the messenger. Straight. But messenger. Not the source of it, but messenger. The vehicle representing, but not really, it is the source. So when you go to when you go to American embassy, or not embassy, any representative of the embassy, actually, you give allegiance to a person there, but not really there, the person there. The state authority, whatever it is. Do you see what I mean? But the state authority is represented by this man. If you give allegiance to that person, the American states accepts your allegiance as it is done to it itself. Now, it is, of course, not a physical body, but how do you call it? Personality.
Entity.
It's an entity, yeah, it's an entity. So, as if entity is, but that, of course, just an analogy. Entity is God, the local representative is the messenger. This is what I mean. So we have to accept that this is a local agent, not the source. But this is how this life is constructed. So we have to practice every aspect of our belief in terms of physical practices as well. Physical practice. You cannot say that I acknowledge God and in the physical world and not do any physical practice of it, because we are created in the form of physical life. Okay. That's a side subject, but somehow when I say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh, I always keep this mantra. That's very important. That's very important. Some people didn't really, some people with not persons, some, how to say, society, didn't really, group of people, maybe billions of people, didn't really accepted or admitted the significance of this physical allegiance. They turned the representative in the physical form into the source of existence. Yeah, that is what happened. The notion of Jesus in certain circle of people. Source of that's allegiance. No, it is just a representative of the source. But it makes sense. The source doesn't make sense. He disappeared. This is what. Okay, we are done for today, inshallah. Oh, I was expecting every day that we will finish this. Every day we will finish this. When I come here, okay, we are going to finish this. Even I got ready the following one. It's a secret. No, it's very simple. Inshallah, we will continue studying this. As long as it is useful, we take our time. We shouldn't hurry or rush to finish the text without really digesting it, making it practical for our life. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil. Inshallah, see you on Monday. Inshallah. If anyone is able, do you think you can make it on Monday? Monday at 6:30 p.m.
Depends on if I'm still late at work or not.
So if your schedule maybe. No, if you are free, we will back. Otherwise, next Saturday. Inshallah. Okay, assalamu alaikum. Oops.